The golden age of Hollywood looked perfect from the outside. Red carpets, glamorous parties, million-dollar smiles. But behind those studio gates lurked secrets so dark, they'd make your favorite movie villain look like a saint. Some of these stars didn't just play criminals on screen. They were criminals. Others used their fame like a get-out-of-jail-free card, while studios spent fortunes covering up scandals that would have destroyed ordinary people. Today, we're counting down the 20 most corrupt actors from Hollywood's so-called golden age. And trust me, by number 1, you'll never look at classic movies the same way again. Number 20, Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. Let's kick this off with Hollywood's first major scandal. Fatty Arbuckle was the king of silent comedy, earning more money than almost anyone in the business. His slapstick routines had audiences rolling in the aisles. Then came September 1921. Arbuckle threw a wild party at a San Francisco hotel. A young actress named Virginia Rappe got sick at that party. 3 days later, she was dead. The newspapers went absolutely insane. Headlines screamed that Arbuckle had assaulted her, maybe even killed her. He faced 3 trials for manslaughter. 3 trials. Even though he was eventually cleared, the damage was done. His movies got banned. Fans turned on him. His career was over. Some say Arbuckle was innocent, destroyed by gossip and yellow journalism. Others believe where there's smoke, there's fire. Either way, this case showed America that their beloved comedy stars might not be so innocent after all. Number 19, Errol Flynn. Speaking of smoke and fire, let's talk about Errol Flynn. This guy was Hollywood's ultimate swashbuckling hero. Women swooned over his sword fights and that devilish grin. But Flynn's real-life adventures were way darker than anything he did on screen. In 1942, he was charged with statutory rape. 2 teenage girls accused him of inappropriate behavior. The trial was a media circus. Every sordid detail made front-page news. Studios panicked, thinking their golden boy was finished. Flynn walked free, but the whispers never stopped. People said he kept partying on his yacht with questionable company. His catchphrase, "in like Flynn," took on a whole different meaning. Here's the thing about Flynn, though. He was too valuable to lose. The studio machine protected him, no matter what he did in private. And that's where the real corruption begins. Number 18, Charlie Chaplin. Now we get to someone who will make you uncomfortable. Charlie Chaplin created The Little Tramp, one of cinema's most beloved characters. His genius changed movies forever. But Chaplin had a seriously disturbing pattern with women. He married girls who were barely legal while he was pushing middle age. One wife was just 16 when he was 35. That's not even the worst part. The FBI kept a massive file on Chaplin, suspecting him of communist sympathies. During the Red Scare of the 1950s, that was career suicide. So eventually, Chaplin got so much heat that he left America entirely, settling in Switzerland. The man who made the world laugh became persona non grata in his adopted country. The debate still rages today. Was he a misunderstood artist, or just another powerful predator hiding behind genius? You decide. Number 17, Wallace Beery. Here's where things get really dark. Wallace Beery played lovable grumps in movies like The Champ. Off-screen, rumors swirled about something far more sinister. In 1937, comedian Ted Healy died after a fight outside a nightclub. Healy was the guy who helped create the Three Stooges, by the way. Some stories claim Beery and 2 other men beat Healy so severely that it killed him. Nobody was ever charged. The official cause of death got tangled up in paperwork and alcohol-related factors. But the whispers never stopped. Here's where it gets interesting. MGM Beery's studio allegedly paid hush money to witnesses and cops to make the whole thing disappear. If true, that's not just corruption. That's covering up murder. Beery kept making movies like nothing happened, but people in Hollywood knew. They knew what kind of man he really was behind that gruff but lovable screen persona. Number 16, George Raft. George Raft made a career playing gangsters. Turns out, he might not have been acting. Raft grew up in Hell's Kitchen, one of New York's roughest neighborhoods. He befriended real mobsters early in life and never really left that world behind. Throughout his Hollywood career, people whispered that Raft helped settle disputes between criminals, that he smoothed things over between the mob and Hollywood nightclubs, that his gangster connections ran deeper than anyone wanted to admit. The studios were terrified. Having a real gangster playing gangsters was either perfect casting or a publicity nightmare waiting to happen. Raft never faced serious criminal charges, but the gossip followed him everywhere. Co-stars said he was surrounded by suspicious characters who definitely weren't in the movie business. Maybe he was just a guy who couldn't escape his past, Or maybe he never wanted to. Either way, with George Raft, the line between performance and reality got dangerously blurry. Number 15, Frank Sinatra. Old Blue Eyes wasn't just a legendary singer. He was also an actor in classics like From Here to Eternity. And according to the FBI, he might have been something else entirely. The FBI kept enormous files on Sinatra detailing his alleged connections to organized crime. There were stories about him arranging deals, using his star power to help certain friends, and socializing with known mobsters. But wait, it gets weirder. Sinatra was also tight with politicians, including President Kennedy. People whispered that he arranged secret meetings and backroom deals between the White House and who knows who else. Was Frank Sinatra a talented entertainer who just knew everyone? Or was he using his fame to operate in some seriously gray areas? The truth probably died with him. But those FBI files, they're still out there, full of questions that'll never be answered. Number 14, Robert Mitchum. Robert Mitchum was the king of film noir. Cool, calm, and collected in classics like Out of the Past. He played men who didn't play by the rules. In 1948, Mitchum got caught breaking the biggest rule of all. Police raided a house party and found him smoking marijuana with friends. This was huge news. We're talking front page scandal, career-ending stuff. Mitchum went to jail for 2 months, while America clutched its pearls about their movie star smoking the devil's lettuce. Here's what's interesting, though. After serving his time, Mitchum made a comeback like nothing happened. The studio spent serious money and used serious PR tricks to repair his reputation. Most people would have been finished forever. Yeah, but Mitchum, he was too valuable to lose. Hollywood protected its investment, and America forgave their bad boy actor. It shows you how the system worked back then. Break the law, no problem, as long as you're profitable enough. Number 13, Lionel Atwill. You know Lionel Atwill from horror classics like Mystery of the Wax Museum. He played mad scientists and cunning villains with that perfect, sinister presence. Around 1940, Atwill hosted a Hollywood party that made headlines for all the wrong reasons. We're talking about activities that shocked even jaded Hollywood insiders. When questioned in court about this gathering, Atwill was accused of perjury, lying under oath. The exact details got hushed up, but rumors claimed the party involved group activities that broke every moral code of the day. The scandal destroyed his reputation. Studios stopped offering him big roles. Audiences felt uncomfortable watching an actor associated with such lurid stories. Atwill kept working in smaller roles, but his days as a major Hollywood villain were over. Sometimes, real-life scandals are scarier than anything you can put on screen. Number 12, Spade Cooley. This one's different because there's no mystery, no rumors, no maybes. Spade Cooley, known as the King of Western Swing, committed cold-blooded murder. In 1961, Cooley beat his wife so severely that she died from her injuries. This wasn't a crime of passion or a tragic accident. This was brutal, calculated violence. Fans couldn't believe it. Here was a guy who made cheerful music, who seemed like a friendly cowboy performer on TV and in movies. How could someone like that commit such a horrific crime? The trial revealed the truth. Behind the scenes, Cooley was a controlling, jealous husband prone to violent rage. The happy cowboy image was just that, an image. Cooley went to prison and died there before getting parole. His story reminds us that behind Hollywood's wholesome faces can hide the darkest impulses imaginable. Number 11, Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford rose from poverty to become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Movies like Mildred Pierce made her a legend, but according to her adopted daughter, she was a monster at home. Christina Crawford wrote Mommy Dearest, describing years of physical and emotional abuse, terrifying punishments, unpredictable fits of rage, a mother who was more concerned with her image than her children's well-being. Some people questioned Christina's story. Others said it explained everything about Joan's perfectionist, controlling public persona. But that's not all. Rumors swirled that early in her career, Crawford posed for pornographic photos. The studio allegedly paid huge money to keep them from surfacing. Whether the abuse allegations are entirely true or not, one thing's clear. Joan Crawford used her power to control everyone around her, and she didn't care who got hurt in the process. Number 10, Clark Gable. They called Clark Gable the King of Hollywood. Women loved his confident swagger in Gone with the Wind. Men wanted to be him. But in 1945, rumors started spreading about a hit-and-run accident. Someone got seriously injured, maybe even killed, and allegedly, Clark Gable was behind the wheel. Here's where it gets interesting. According to the stories, MGM executives swooped in immediately. They allegedly bribed witnesses, paid off cops, and made sure the story never reached the newspapers. No trial ever happened, no official charges were filed. But the rumor has persisted for decades in Hollywood circles. Was Gable actually involved in a deadly accident? Or is this just Hollywood mythology? We'll probably never know for sure. What we do know is that Gable had privileges ordinary people could only dream of. The studio protected him from consequences that would have destroyed anyone else's life. Number 9. Adolphe Menjou. Adolphe Menjou was a dapper, sophisticated actor who symbolized wit and style on screen. But his place on this list comes from something much uglier than anything he did in movies. During the communist witch hunts of the 1940s and 50s, Menjou became a friendly witness for the House Un-American Activities Committee. He named names, accusing colleagues of being communist sympathizers. These accusations often led to blacklisting. People lost their careers based on nothing more than suspicion. Families were destroyed. Lives were ruined. Critics see Menjou's cooperation as political corruption at its worst. He used his star power to destroy other people's lives, possibly to save his own career or appear more patriotic. Some viewed him as a hero fighting against a real threat. Others saw him as an opportunist who betrayed fellow artists to protect himself. Either way, Menjou's legacy includes helping destroy many creative careers during one of Hollywood's darkest periods. Number 8. Mabel Normand. In the silent era, Mabel Normand was comedy gold. She starred with Charlie Chaplin and had perfect timing that won fans worldwide. But her private life got tangled up in multiple murder scandals, starting with director William Desmond Taylor in 1922. Normand was one of the last people to see Taylor alive before someone shot him dead in his home. Though never formally charged, many questioned if she knew more than she admitted. The press hinted that she and Taylor might have argued over drugs or money. Later, she was present when her wealthy lover shot someone else at a party. Again, no charges. But newspapers started painting her as dangerous to be around. Studios grew wary. Her career fell apart. Maybe Mabel Normand was just unlucky, always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or maybe trouble really did follow her everywhere she went. She died young, leaving Hollywood to forever wonder about her real involvement in these dark events. Number 7. Mary Miles Minter. Mary Miles Minter was groomed to be a star from childhood. Sweet-faced, innocent, perfect for romantic roles in silent films. Like Mabel Normand, she got pulled into the William Desmond Taylor murder scandal. Police found love letters from Minter to Taylor, who was much older than her. Some believed Minter's mother, Charlotte Shelby, was furious over their relationship. Wild theories suggested Shelby killed Taylor to protect her daughter's innocence and career. Nobody was ever convicted, but Minter's name was forever tied to that unsolved murder. Her bright career dimmed quickly as studios saw her as tainted. The family kept changing their stories, which only added to suspicions. Was Mary Miles Minter a naive girl caught up in adult problems, or did she and her mother keep terrible secrets? The Taylor case remains unsolved to this day, haunting everyone who was involved. Number 6. Tom Neal. Tom Neal had the perfect look for film noir: brooding, dangerous, mysterious. Unfortunately, real life turned out to be scarier than any movie he made. First, he beat fellow actor Franchot Tone so badly that Tone ended up hospitalized. They were fighting over actress Barbara Payton in what became Hollywood's most vicious love triangle. But that was just the warm-up. In 1965, Neal was convicted of manslaughter after shooting his wife. He claimed it was an accident, but the court sent him to prison anyway. The details were grim. Fans who remembered his tough guy roles felt like real life was imitating his bad guy image on screen. By the time Neal got out of prison, his film career was long dead. He died shortly after his release. Tom Neal's story shows how an actor's personal demons can completely overshadow any talent. In an era that loved hiding star problems, his violent acts were too big to cover up. Number 5. Chico Marx. Chico Marx made audiences laugh as part of the famous Marx Brothers comedy team. His silly Italian accent and piano playing were comedy gold. But behind that fun persona was a messy private life centered around compulsive gambling. Chico ran up debts everywhere he went. Rumors said he borrowed money from loan sharks and people with underworld connections. When he couldn't pay them back, supposedly, he did small favors for questionable figures to wipe away the debts. His brothers Groucho and Harpo tried to help him manage his finances, but Chico always found ways to keep gambling. While never proven, these rumors suggested Chico might have danced dangerously close to real corruption just to stay afloat. The idea of goofy Chico Marx hanging out with gangsters shows how stardom and trouble could mix in the most unexpected ways. Number 4. Edward G. Robinson. Edward G. Robinson created some of the most memorable movie gangsters. In films like Little Caesar, off camera, he was actually a cultured, intelligent art collector. But during the tense political climate of the late 1940s and 50s, Robinson got pulled into controversy. He was accused of being too friendly with communist or left-wing groups. The House Un-American Activities Committee questioned him about his beliefs and friends. While never blacklisted, the mere suspicion hurt his career for years. There were also rumors that Robinson, because of his gangster image, befriended or had dinner with real mobsters. Nothing was proven, and some believe it was just public confusion between the actor and his roles. Even a whiff of wrongdoing or questionable politics could tarnish a star's legacy back then. Robinson's troubles show how easy it was for Golden Age actors to fall under suspicion. Number 3. Robert Taylor. Robert Taylor was known as the man with the perfect profile. Handsome, polished, the ideal leading man in classics like Waterloo Bridge. But Taylor got tangled up in the HUAC communist hunts in a big way. In 1947, he testified as a friendly witness, sharing names of people he suspected were involved in communist activities. Some said the studio pressured him to cooperate. Others believed he truly feared communist influence. Whatever his motivation, his testimony helped blacklist certain actors and writers. Critics called Taylor's actions a form of political corruption, using his celebrity power to harm other people's careers while keeping his own star status safe. Some fans felt disappointed that an actor they admired helped a process many viewed as unfair and destructive. Number 2. Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper represented the classic American hero in films like High Noon and Sergeant York. Tall, soft-spoken, honest, brave, and kind. But Cooper also got swept into the anti-communist fervor. Though he didn't name specific names like some others, he testified that he'd come across scripts carrying communist ideas. This gave HUAC more ammunition to investigate Hollywood writers. Some fans felt betrayed, saying Cooper participated in a system that punished people based on rumors. Cooper's involvement shows how political corruption can happen in subtle forms. By adding even mild support to HUAC, he helped reinforce fear across the film community. Many suspected that actors cooperated mainly to stay on the government's good side, ensuring they kept their roles and avoided controversy. Number 1. Carl Alfalfa Switzer. You know Carl Alfalfa Switzer from The Little Rascals. As a child, he won hearts with his spiky hair and off-key singing. But Switzer's adult life turned tragically dark. He had trouble finding steady acting work and slipped into minor crimes. He was involved in petty theft, bar fights, and rumored dog breeding scams where he'd steal dogs and sell them back to their owners for reward money. These shady deals showed a pattern of wrongdoing. Locals said he owed money everywhere and ran from one quick fix to another. In 1959, Switzer was shot and killed during an argument over a debt. The circumstances remain murky. Some called it self-defense. Others said he was the victim. Either way, it was a tragic end for someone who once brought smiles to so many kids. Carl Switzer's downfall reminds us that Hollywood's bright lights don't always lead to a shining future. Sometimes, child stars fall into desperate acts when fame fades, and the results can be heartbreaking. These 20 stars show us that behind the glamour and glitz of Hollywood's golden age lurked secrets, scandals, and corruption that would make today's celebrity drama look like child's play. The studio system protected some, destroyed others, but always put profit over people. Makes you wonder what secrets today's biggest stars might be hiding, doesn't it?